Hello and welcome to Dels Gaming, and this is from the depths, and I am in the campaign mode finally. We're on the bridge of the Iron Duke, which is the flagship of the heavy squadron, with the Preservet and the Bogatir and the Argincourt following along, heading towards Serenity Island, which is our refueling station, on the way to the area to go ahead and just take out some of the white flyers, hopefully. I haven't done any campaign because there's a lot of changes happening at the moment, and it's taken a while to get this far, but I decided it's worth. I know there's some changes happening about this week, but it'd be good just to get some a go at the campaign this week before those changes, just to see if it's going to work with these ships, and then we can also compare what the differences are between this campaign and once the changes with the AI etc. have come in. I really hope I can keep the mission going, and we can see if we can make our way fully through the campaign. Anyway, just having a quick look at the map. Let me take these out to stop a bit of lag, and we'll see what the map situation is. So I pulled back most of my forces and the older ship designs and basically recycled them to build the heavy squadron, which, as you can see here, is a mixture of ships with some frigates for defence, which are heading over here towards the lost city of Serenity, and they're hopefully going to go into this area of the white flares, the lower level of the white flares, with the heavy squadron. Now, what I also did bring in was the Cruiser Squadron up north, up here. Now, we've had a few attacks here already, actually from the lightning hoods. The lightning hoods have come all the way up here, trying to come through this area, and we have an air force consisting of the lightnings and the bombers of the Vulcan etc., which I have adapted to work in this situation. And then we have the Cruiser Squadron, which is basically the Tiger battle cruiser, the Exeter heavy cruisers, and then a few frigates. So they're going to try and take out some of these smaller zones up here initially, just to see if we can gain some distance and some squares on them to cut out the white flares. Once the heavy squadron has got to Serenity Island, it will resupply, because these do take quite a bit of materials to travel. Well, not to travel, but they need materials to go into combat with. So the other aim I'm going to try and do is I'm going to try and keep this down to just a couple of fleets if I can, and they'll do most of the work that's necessary to take out the white flares with any luck. So what I'm going to do is I will bring in the Cruiser Squadron into this small zone here. This will be the first battle for the Cruiser Squadron, so it will be the baptism of fire. So we will see what they can do in this environment. It should be a couple of easy ones, and I think there was a resource point over here as well. So we'll have to see how that comes up. We're doing need some radar coverage, so I better bring up this fleet support unit a bit closer to give them a bit of radar coverage. They have now got a radar ship with them, but it's not brilliant. We'll also bring up the 111 in case there is a lot of aircraft to go against, so we can bring those in instead. So some of the little problems we have with the current campaign at the moment is some of these can be difficult to see what we're up against. It's not as easy to see the ships, but we've got a Guymura and Martyr by the looks of it, so a few Martyrs, so nothing bigger, but this is going to be very much an anti-air. So we'll bring in our squadron. Now, as far as battles go, what I would like to be able to do is I'm not going to overwhelm the enemy forces. I think it would be good to allow them to come in, and that brings all of them in actually, and the enemy, and well, actually most of mine are now in as well. We'll bring our flagship in, I think, and our air defense, and one more Trafalgar, and then we'll put all the lightnings up ahead. Now with the new star system, you can see which ships are brought in. I personally like the previous one where there was a colouring, so you can see it tell up on the list here, but also maybe I'm missing something. At this range it's difficult to see which ship is which to use the wand. I know I can use the wand to try and bring ships in, but as I say, these colorized, the green is not as bright as I would like it for me. That's very difficult to see, basically, unfortunately. But anyway, we'll bring it in. You can look at the stars, so I can see that we've got that Trafalgar's in, air defense Trafalgar, those, let's see, we could, so I'm not sure if I can, no, it's not as easy to order the ship order that you want ships to come in on. It's yeah, not as nice as I would like, but hey ho, we can't have everything. Now I will bring in our flagship, because would be good, although I want to make sure all the white flayers are in, so okay, we've got a limit. Okay, I'm actually going to come in on our lightning here, and we'll see what this battle brings. So we have some martyrs coming in, and they've been taken out by the missiles from our lightnings, which is good. And now we should have the Gymera somewhere, wherever that has gone, and just at this moment I cannot see it. I think it just spawned in. There we go. So hopefully our fighters will now turn around, and missiles, long range missiles away. Our fighters are closing in on the target quite good, nicely actually. He's going very high. Our lightnings aren't done quite, but they're still firing missiles in. Excellent, excellent. Come on, will those missiles connect? They're quite a good range of heavy missiles, and then some smaller missiles once it gets closer, as you can see. And I think they have taken that Gymera, so good start. And this is one of our little Trafalgar frigates. It's the air defense version of the frigate, going in with its 118mm and also firing out its missiles. It looks like some of our lightnings did get a few hits in some ways, but that Gymera is definitely down now, and with any luck some of the other Trafalgar will actually start launching some torps out at it. So that was a little easy fight, and I think this little 5 will quickly just blast through, and then we'll see what is next in the White Flayers area. That was a fairly quick fight, that, but hey, that's the way these go sometimes. Sometimes they might be more difficult, and we might have a difficult one coming up after this. These ones had previously been attacked and then retaken by the White Flayers, but I think I'll send me the RAF in here just to clear out this quick little 5. I hope it's a quick little 5, and yeah,
moving out.
we will then move on. Now, although we are waiting for the Cruiser Squadron to get in range, we've got the lightning hoods decided to come in and attack our forces down the south. Now, we've got them defended with some defensive platforms that I have built up specifically against the lightning hoods, so we're going to give them a bash and see if we can take out this lightning hoods. Now, these ships are effectively heavy, very heavy shielding and smoke to give them the best possible advantage against the lightning hood lasers. Now, we're going to bring in a fair amount, so what's that going to bring us in? That's going to bring us in that squadron and just about all of the lightning hoods, or I could go for a maximum, and that just basically means brings everything in and we have one massive big battle, which could be fun. So we're going to give that a go as a massive battle, and as much as anything, let's see how this performs. Now, I'll take over one of the Neland defense platforms. Let's see how this battle goes. So our Neland is smoking up against the incoming lasers, and these are quite heavy missile ships and close in, and yeah, AA, so they have got some deficiencies, and I've noticed that the ammo is sometimes a bit susceptible to being hit, and they seem to be having a few problems finding location, but missiles are coming in quite happily against the lightning hoods here, so which is a good sign that these ships will be suitable for later on when we actually do have to take the lightning hoods out. Now, one difference I've noticed in the campaign is if I press the C button, we used to have a list of the enemy ships. We now only see our own ships now. We don't see any. I want to disable that while I'm about it, actually. Don't want them to attacking salvage. But we'll have a look what's going on over here now. Shots are coming in. We've got a long range engagement. These also do prefer a long range engagement to the short range. Now, we've also looks like we've got some very long range ones over here, and performance wise we're doing quite well, actually. I think in performance of this, considering how many blocks were put in here. Your little tiny stutter, but nothing massive. Now, it looks like some of the lightning hoods ships did not get out of the water. Which ones are these? They're the Fireflies. So the two Fireflies, or is it three Fireflies, did not get out of the water, which is a bit unfortunate for them. And the AI pathing, although set reasonably, is not great as unfortunately, and it does seem to be trying to take our ships across the land, which is not great. They are set to 100-meter water depth, but for some reason it still thinks that the best way to get them to over towards the target is to put them across the island. This is been a problem for a long time, but yeah, that's just bloody annoying, basically. So we were able to hold back the lightning hoods fleet there, but it did show some issues with the current halving of the AI, which has been a problem for a long time, but it seems like it's okay in fleet mode, but in combat mode it's not honouring the basic pathing around islands and around land. And I did check, they're all set for 100 meters minimum depth, and they're all set as ships, but it did not want to work basically as expected. So anyway, we will do the battle. We've got a nice battle coming up here. We've cleared out the white flares at the top, so we could take out the white flares fortress, which would actually remove them from game, but I think that's a little early. What I would like to do, although we've got a fleet here ready to do that, I think we will see if we can get the heavy fleet in first, just to protect this area, and I'm going to have to bring all of my forces down in preparation anyway. I'm also worried about all the land here as well, but let's just see what we can do with getting both fleets ready to take out their home base. So whilst waiting for the heavy fleet to get into the area, I'm gonna have a go at this 250 area here, where we've got quite a range of regular and expert designs. Could be quite interesting really. Again, I'm going to be fighting this system here. Let's try and use the wand. It's not easy to see my own forces. That's a little easier actually, but it's not. Oh, it's not intuitive at all. I've got to say, I'm not liking this. How can I select number 5? I want to select number 5. Why can't I select number 5?
Receiving.
Just why is it? It's just and now it's gone to a different part of the map. Okay, so there's some bugs with battle selectors and that, and it's not easy. I want to select the ships, and it's not letting me do what I would like, which is ruddy annoying basically. Anyway, let me get this battle started, and we'll have a see what happens and see what the fleet is like against some of these forces. So because I can't really make this spawning in any sort of order that makes sense, yeah, I've got to say I'm just going to make it a massive battle, and hopefully it won't be too slow, but it'll be interesting to see if the performance is there. I've got to say I prefer the previous way, was a lot more intuitive. Anyway, yeah, there's a fair bit of lag here because I've brought everything in one go, which is whether that's a good idea or not. It's going to be a little slow on the forces, but everybody is coming in. We've got all of our aircraft, we've got the fighters, we've got all of the various ships, so there's nothing held back. And we've got a missile barrage coming in, which I don't. Let's see if these interceptors have a chance. So I did a few changes with interceptors. They got a few of those. That's not too bad, but missiles is still anti-missile is still a bit of a problem. So we've got the first pass from the lightnings on their missile barrage against the enemy flying units. Don't recognise all of those, to be frankly honest, but it'll be interesting to see how some of our units do against the secondaries here. We have various flying units coming in from this. I think that looks like a Stinger. Looks like big hit on one of the white flares units over there. That's definitely a load of EMP and heavy hits on it. Is that a Guymura? I think that's a Guymura. Oh, a big chunk taken out there with some of the HE. Now this is going to be a problem one. This is it Sharondon? Let me just go and check what the name is. Sharondon. It's been a bit of a problem in the past. It's very heavily armoured and takes a lot to take it down, so it'll be interesting to see how our ships handle this ship especially. Looks like a little martyr has managed to get past our screening forces. This could be problematic. We'll see if we can get that taken out. It actually looks like our main guns are aiming at it. There's one martyr, looks like it's got taken out the back there. Incoming we have now some of the sea forces, which our frigates are having a go at as part of their picket duty, and it looks like they have slowed down or disabled some of them, which is good. And the Sharondon is coming in again, which is it looks like it's taken some damage. Its guns seem to have been disabled, but it's still coming in quite aggressively against our battle cruiser. But the Tiger is holding up so far. It doesn't look like it's taken too much damage. And the enemy ships are now coming into play, which is hopefully where the battle cruiser's guns can really do some damage against the air targets. It's not as effective as you could imagine. Seems to be targeting something over there for some reason, but we'll have a check. I think it's going for the Sharondon if it can get. Our fighters, our lightnings are coming in and launching missiles at it as it comes through. And we have, you can just see in the distance there possibly, the bombers. They will be doing various levels of damage against the ships, and the Sharondon's coming in for a bit of a ram there, which must mean it's quite badly damaged. There's a lot of missile smoke there from the interceptors. So it had a collision with that rear turret, which may actually have helped in general, because it stopped it taking out the hull, but that's now in the water, which means it's going to be susceptible to torpedoes and plenty of other damage. Now a couple of ships that have been taken out are these zealots. Now these zealots can be damn annoying if they actually get in range to charge you, so for it to have the squadron to have removed these two is of great benefit. And unfortunately the Parving again has just about ran the battle cruiser into the island, so I'm going to have to take manual control and force it away from the island. This is an annoying part actually, because if you can't make the AI and it's just going to run into the land, then it means you just only reliably be able to build aircraft, because then you haven't got to worry about them grounding themselves. You just have to build them so you don't go into the water. But yeah, this particular bit is annoying. I thought we had solved it on a couple of previous iterations, but it looks like the problem is back again, for want of a better word. The ship is set to have a maximum depth, and also it's got quite a long high, I think it's about 500 meter turning circle, so it should be able to allow for it. But I think it's just a simple matter of the combat AI is just not allowing for the ground at all. You can see here it's doing a straight line back. It's not even doing sort of a bit of a path. Can't show what it would be what it was like previously, so it's a bit complex with all of those there. But anyway, there is some of the problems that I think need to be addressed for the campaign and the ships to be reliable, I think. Well, we've just about killed off all of the enemy vessels. Just a few ones left to tidy up, which the aircraft and ships are having a go at. We've again gone a little astray. The other problem is with fleet moves. Although some of the ships are set to fleet move, they're not what's the best way of putting it, they're not following the flagship. Again, it's not a formation move. They're tending to just stick with their original places, which is a bit annoying. I was hoping to be able to set it so that the frigates and other destroyers would stay with the flagship most of the time, which would have been nice. We've also run a fair bit away from the off the edge of the map a little bit, so I'm just on the square, so I'm just bringing us back into the main square so we don't start another battle inadvertently. So our ASW frigate has got in range. It was going a little slow, so just changed the speed setting for it, and it's firing its ASROC torpedoes down at the enemy harpoon, and also it should be firing hopefully some of its normal torpedoes down as well once we get into a range. At the moment that's the ASROCs firing at the front there, you can see. If I just bring up so you can see their trails, yep, you can see they are going down, hitting into the water, and then going on their jolly way to the target. And the ASW does its job, and we finally get rid of the enemy forces. Now we'll take everything out of battle before they wander into an unfortunate area. And in general we've come through that quite well actually against a 250 force. No major injuries, materials down a little bit as expected, but not too bad. Few issues with the, what should we say, few issues with the game campaign mode. That palving especially was not great, and also the fact of fleet, when you go into fleet mode it doesn't follow the flagship. I still have this problem with it not being more like a formation mode, which would be more. I did try to build a breadboard to do that, Didn't successfully do it though. Had a go at it, but it just didn't quite work as planned. But hopefully with a few changes, the game's getting there, and it's in some cases it's a step back. I think the planning in the battle mode, being able to put ships into a particular spawn order other than just bring everything in. It's in the previous one you could move them around in the menu, in the window on the right hand side quite easily, so you could order the way that ships would come in. This time it's not intuitive, and I just found it very difficult to use. I could not make them come into battle in the order I would like without it seemed like a million clicks to sending them forward and backwards and forwards. It was not easy at all. No, again, that's must be something that could be looked into. In a game, the UI, making the UI good and intuitive and easy to use is a very important part of games. Otherwise, people just won't play it because they will find it too clunky and or just awkward to use. Anyway, I'm having a bit of I don't want to feel it's a rant. I'm trying to give opinion and hopefully something which is going to be valuable for whoever, if there's anybody that's watching this video that's dev team, etc., they might be able to take some of these as positive things to improve before we go into release. Because otherwise, general people will not be as, I'll say, forgiving as other groups. But that's going to be it for this particular video. I've got enough to work on. I'm going to put a few bug reports up. We're in a situation where we can attack the White Flayers fortress. Our Cruiser Squadron has proven itself capable. One big plus point about all the battles in the game, that performance was not bad considering I had all of the ships in. Yes, it slowed down, that was expected, but even then I did not have as many lag spikes as I'd had in the past, and although the FPS was low, it wasn't it was low, but it wasn't drastically so, and graphically everything stayed in and everything worked. So big plus point for the performance stakes there. I think that's a great improvement in many ways. Why is our radar disappearing? Okay, that's just because of the height he's at, I guess. So our heavy squadron is now fully supplied and resupplied, and they're going to come in from the south here to come in towards the White Flayers base, and we'll use them to come in possibly just to the southeast, around the back, take out this first area and go into the back of the main fortress, whilst our Cruiser Squadron just protects, I think they're going to protect this frontal area and come in across this main avenue into the enemy forces, and we'll do a bit of a pincer move, I think, on their home base with their best possible enemy. So mixed review. Again, good to be in the campaign. Good that my ships so far have performed very well. Actually, I'm happy with them against the forces. They seem to have performed reasonably. Any comments? As always, leave them down below. And I'll be doing some more. I'll have another go at the campaign. Hopefully I might not do another one until we get the next AI changes on this week, 22nd or so. I think they said they were going to come in. But until next time, keep playing the game and have fun.